All right, we'll go aloud, guys. Here you go.
Hey, what are you trying to do, Garrett?
What do you mean?
Oh, I thought you were trying like to organize the screen a certain way.
No, we had it. We got it. I just I was just telling you that my voice is like, I was coaching a whole bunch of 12-year-old girls yesterday, so my voice is a little shot. Sorry, guys.
No problem. It sounds good. I like it. I like doing the shows when I'm sick.
It's like,
it's kind of fun. I like the texture of my voice. I feel like I'm more manly when I'm sick.
I was gonna say I'm over here doing like a soft transition or some shit or whatever.
Garrett, you and I do the same things in our household. We clean gutters. We get on the roof and clean gutters.
Dude, you were just talking about that. That was part of what I wanted to bring up, was the Russell Berger video that got taken down. Yeah, or was it yesterday or the day before?
Yeah, I got scared. Is that better? Did I turn the right mic? Okay.
Yeah, now you sound
yeah, that was crazy. That was so basically what happened is we did that show. We called you know the story of what happened at Planet Fitness, right? There was a dude in there naked, shaving his legs, in the girls' locker room.
Yeah, I covered it. Yeah.
Okay. And then they fired the lady who took a picture of him, which is crazy, because you would think that they want a picture of a crime being committed, because 10 years ago that would have for sure been a crime, right?
Yeah.
And so this bitch is trapped in the past, right? She still thinks it's a crime. She hasn't gotten with the program. And so when we were calling, and then I Googled on YouTube, can you record people on YouTube? And the policy was a little like iffy,
Even
and
with the Alabama thing?
Even with the Alabama thing, I think they have their own policy. So then I was like, you know what? I'm having so much success in my station, and I really want to build a Twitter and
don't want to risk it.
I really want to build a Twitter and Rumble presence. So I thought, okay, I'll move it over to Rumble, and it's already doing pretty well on Rumble. It's got like 141 views. And I was also thinking, and then I immediately, right when I got off that show, I went on Amazon and I ordered Russell a Roadcaster. And I'm like, we're just going to do shows.
Fire.
I'm just going to do shows with him.
Yeah.
Where we call like.
Did you guys plan that?
No, before the show happened, like that morning before he came on, I was thinking, oh, wouldn't that be funny? And I knew Russell's he was an Army Ranger and a former Army interrogator. So I know he's really good at talking to people, and I've worked with him for years, and I really like him. Like, I get giddy around him like him. And so I just kind of just brought it up. He had no idea. But then afterwards, I've been calling him every day.
He was awesome. That was crazy, dude. Those poor, God, the kids that answer, and they're probably not even kids, they're young adults, whatever, but to have to navigate that, and they tried so hard walking on eggshells not to offend him at all.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine if that was my job. Like, I would just want to be like, no, dude, you cannot walk into a girl's locker room with your penis out, or a penis of any kind.
Right.
So I don't know.
So check this out. You guys are going to love this, Colleen and Garrett. Yesterday in my DM, some chick's like, hey, I got this I'm on this group text accidentally. I don't work at Planet Fitness, but it's a text message that went out to all the managers at Planet Fitness. Oh. And it's a 2-page. They said, hey, we've been getting calls to our Planet Fitnesses around the country, and this is how you should respond to those calls when they call. And and I send it to Russell, and he's like, holy shit. So I think we're going to, Russell and I'm going to try to see if I have so many things I want to do, but I want to see if I can start doing a weekly show with Russell, and all we do is just call places.
That would be fire.
Yeah, wouldn't it? It would be, and then it would be, in Rumble and Twitter are perfect for that.
I went to go show Colleen the episode, and then it was gone, and I was like, shit.
Yeah, over on Rumble.
It was so uncomfortable. Like, it was so uncomfortable. Not for you guys, but just for oh my God.
I was uncomfortable. My heart, if I had a heart rate monitor on, it would have been like going crazy. Dude, I was crazy uncomfortable. But fun uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like a roller coaster ride.
So you can't even send your kids into a girl's bathroom or a boy's bathroom by themselves anymore, because you don't know what or who's going to be in there. So I'm curious, when I was younger, my grandfather used to pay for me to go to UNC Chapel Hill for a week and a half worth of basketball camp, right? Like, I got to work out with all the high level coaches and all the other great players from around the country. And I went by myself. Like, and I'm, 13, 14 years old, flying by myself, going to these camps. And they pick you up at the
Flying.
Yeah, flying. Yep. And they pick you up at the, at the airport, and they bus you to the venue and whatnot. And you're there by yourself with like 200 other kids. My grandfather didn't think twice about it when he would send me on those things. But nowadays, like, would you ever consider sending on your kid like that to like a jujitsu camp or whatever without you there, without knowing what's happening?
I mean,
Because of like changing.
I want to say yes, but it's definitely no. Like, so like I just pretended in my head, I mean, my kids are only 9 and 7, but I just pretended in my head. So I'll tell you a story. I was in Arizona hanging out with Greg, and Greg's nanny's like, "Hey, I'm taking all the kids to the skate park." And Haley's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go." And Greg's like, "Why are you gonna go? They're fine with the nanny." And my wife's like, "Hey, I just want to go." And he's like, "Hey man, your kids are never gonna grow up and mature if you don't fucking give them space. Quit being like," and he had a word for it, I forget. Like basically like babying your kids, right?
Yeah.
And I pull my wife and I see my wife and Greg start to get into it. And I go, "Hey dude, just go. Don't even worry about getting into it. Like they're just doing things differently than we're doing them." But yeah, it's my job. I think one of the reasons why Tyson Bagent is so successful is because his dad was a helicopter dad.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be a helicopter parent, and it's just what I'm going to do. Now, I stay out of my kid's shit. Like if I'm walking down the street and someone starts talking to my kid, I don't stick around and hang out for the conversation. Or if someone asks, "Hey, are you guys twins?" I don't answer for my kids. I keep walking. I walk like 30 feet away and then turn around and just make sure everything's cool. But I'm going to be there. My kids aren't. I wouldn't even leave my kid like after a high school football game. I'm not leaving them. I'm bringing your ass home. The reason why is because I don't want my kids getting into fentanyl or blah blah blah. And if they hate me for it, fine. I'm going to raise my fucking kids, and it's just what I'm going to do. And on one level, there might be some downside for it. You know what I mean? They might grow up and be a little more naive and less sophisticated and less independent. But on the other hand, like my kids are amazing listeners. They're socially just fucking perfect. They never act out in public. They say hi and bye to everyone. They're socially and they're accountable to me because I'm always present. And that's just the way it's going to be. That's how I'm running that shit.
Well, it's either they're mad at you because you were a helicopter parent, or you send them on these trips that nowadays they're making it so you can't let your kids travel by themselves. I know parents right now, friends of mine, that won't let their kids go to sleep over other people's houses.
Yeah, my kids won't be doing that.
Just because it's like everybody, somebody's got that uncle or that stepdad or that whatever.
Or just YouTube. So my friends were at these other kids' house, and I was there, and they were watching videos on how to shave their bikini lines. And I don't blame my boys for looking that up. I would look that shit up too, and I accept that. I'm not mad that they saw that. They're at the age where they're 7 and 9, and they can type in women shaving their vaginas, and then they can try to find it on the internet. But I'm aware that that's happening, and like I'm gonna at least be in the house when that happens. You know what I mean?
Did you ever? I found my grandfather's Spank collection. Did you ever find your dad's?
I found a stack of Playboy magazines. At my dad's house, but also one time I went camping, and I went camping with my best friend, and we went to a cabin, super far away, and they gave us our own room, and me and my friend are in there, and we found a cardboard box, and there were magazines in there, and I took that Playboy magazine, and from the 7th grade to my senior year, that was my magazine. I had that at my house. I remember the Asian girl in there. She was my girl. Yeah, she had the weird pubic hair that Asians have.
See, you asked me once how I knew I was gay. It's because I stole one magazine. I ran over to my buddy's house, lived across the street from me, and we went through it. And then we got caught though. So we didn't get to keep it. I was going to hide it over at his house. And he was like, "Yes, you can hide it at my house. Absolutely hide it at my house." And then he freaking got caught like an idiot. So
it was a boy.
Yeah.
You had similar interests. Did you have a girl in there that you liked the best?
Shoot, who was in there? Can't remember.
And I like Playboy too. I like Playboy too because I didn't want to see too much.
Yeah.
I was fine with just like
Well,
I didn't
just
need
in our
like I didn't need someone holding their vagina open. I didn't like
open
that. Like I was, you know what I mean? Like I didn't need. I saw Hustler. I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is more like an anatomy lesson. I don't need that.
even and well, you're a little bit older than me, but like I found Cinemax. Like
Yeah, Cinemax. That was great shit.
my grandfather would be watching Cinemax, and then he'd go to bed, and I would try to wait till like 2 o'clock in the morning, and they'll click it and see what he was listening to, because I was like, "What is that?" And then I
Hey,
would
and you know what's crazy? Instagram is as dirty as Cinemax was back then.
way worse, even worse,
Instagram is crazy now.
way worse. There's a I don't know if you saw the reel of it was on. Do you ever watch the Brilliant Idiots with Charlemagne the God and Andrew Schultz?
No,
They're
they have a
ridiculous.
show together. Andrew Schultz and Charlemagne have a show.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Andrew Schultz has Flagrant, and then all his stand-up stuff, and then Charlemagne and Andrew have a show together called The Brilliant Idiots that they do weekly together. And they just brought up a reel. It was a grown-up son, smacking the butt of his mom on her birthday, and it was just on Instagram, and he was just like, "Yeah, mom, make it clap, make it clap." I was like, no, I don't know.
Hey, even if that were to happen, why would you share that?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, the mom was gorgeous. I'm not even like the mom was a dime piece.
she had a butt worth slapping.
Dude, for sure. But just as her son, that's what you're doing on Instagram. So to me, Instagram's way worse than.
Have you seen this trend of women breastfeeding plastic babies? It's everywhere now.
Yep. Weird. It's a weird fetish that's happening.
How is Instagram allowing that?
They allow everything that's not conservative. If you have conservative values, you can't post.
It says on the and it'll say in their bios, lactation consultant.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it looks like some fucking Russian bride with giant fake tits holding. I mean, it's just
in that interview with, or the show you did with Burger too. You guys talked a lot about roles in the household.
yeah.
I wanted to get into that with you. We've never actually gotten to go down that rabbit hole before, but everybody's so mad about like women don't want to have a woman role. Like they've made men's roles seem like it's so much better than just being the woman in the household, or like our role isn't as like it sucks more. And so they're like teaching women to do the man's role, like run around, have a lot of sex. And it's not even teach them how to do the man's role, but teach them how to do the worst part of like the part of men that we like least as women. Like
Right.
you know what I mean? It's not even like they're teaching us like to go fix a car, or they want us to go whatever, pull shit out of the gutter or whatnot. They're like, no, men are promiscuous. They run around. They want to have sex all the time. Women should too, which mostly I don't even think is in our nature. Like, it's not even our nature to do that. Maybe out of college for a little bit, live your whole phase. But
the vagina is a crazy high value object.
yeah,
And
Did
it's
you-
something. It needs to be treated like the way a vagina should be treated. It shouldn't be trying to behave like a penis. I think. I mean, I'm not a woman, so I don't know. I just have my own imagination of what it's like to be a woman.
I
I think contraception plays a huge role in that too, right? I mean, contraception. As soon as you have as soon as you have birth control, the value of and the consequences of sex just plummet. And no one ever talks to you as a kid how that changes the value of the vagina, but you shouldn't let it change the true value of it in your own head. Do you know what I'm saying by that?
Yeah.
There's consequences to having sex that are real that we can displace by using contraception, and then there's neglect of talking about all the emotional components, especially around women, about having sex because they get detached from the consequences. I haven't really thought about it too much, but it's definitely an avenue that it doesn't take a very much logic just to figure out. By the way, nice shirts. I appreciate it, guys. Nice shirts.
This is my favorite one. I love it.
I like that one too. That's the paint splatter one.
Yeah.
I like that one too. Yeah.
This is the camo. It's super comfortable.
They are super
with the
comfortable.
no hood or whatever.
Yeah.
I think you had another color. I think it's like a light turquoisey kind of color. I have to get that one too.
I have the camo t-shirt one, but it's too tight on my boobs, so I just don't like to wear it. Like, it starts to curl under my boobs. It looks like I'm wearing a bra.
Oh boy.
That's not a look I'm going for.
Yeah, the emotional repercussions for women when it comes to that and being like super hypersexual, just emotionally, I think it just takes too much of a toll on women, and then they don't even know what they want from out of a man, like out of a mate. You know what I'm saying?
Do women need a lot of trust to enjoy sex, right?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, and men don't.
Right.
Yeah, they don't need any trust.
And that's because like you're physically going in us. It's not, you know what I mean? And the first time hurts. Like, so to just tell women to run around and just do, like, there's an emotional component to that I think it numbs us. In a way that it is just detrimental to us wanting to do what we're here for. You know what I mean? We're here to love one person. We're here to be with one person. We're here to have kids. We're here, you know what I mean? It's just not in our nature to run around and be the worst part of the dude that we don't even like. Like, we want dudes to be monogamous.
I remember being a young man though and thinking like, hey, this makes no sense. I should just be having sex with everyone. This feels so good. Why would there be something that feels so good and is so fun that you only do with just one person? But there was truly, even though there is an emotional part of it for a boy, you almost don't realize that. The only place that I remember realizing it as a boy at a young age was as if she wouldn't have sex with you, or if she had sex with one of your friends, right? Then it hurt. As opposed to now, when I'm with my wife, the whole fucking thing is emotional.
Yeah.
From start to finish.
When did you get there with your harem of women? Like, I'm curious. When were you like, all right, that's it. I'm putting my harem of women aside, and
never. Just one girl just culls the herd. Yeah, and I use the word harem because that it was just because that's my way of just like, you weren't lying about it.
Right.
You were gonna do, maybe you weren't honest about it, but you weren't gonna lie about it. And so if you have 5 girlfriends and you're not lying about it, then I call that a harem. If you have 5 girlfriends and you're lying about it, that's called cheating.
Yeah.
And so I use the word harem just because it's fun. But twice I had shitloads of girlfriends, and I lived in a really small, densely populated town where everyone traveled on foot and on bicycles in Isla Vista, California. And so it was really easy to have tons of girlfriends because I would just be meeting people all day, every day. And then twice I had girlfriends who basically figured out a way to remove the other girls, you know, by either insisting that I come home every night or staying closer to me, but just found ways to make it so that like, hey, this wasn't going to work. I'm not going to allow this to happen.
Yeah, women leave their scent on you. It's a gift that we have that just allow other women to know, go away.
Yeah, well, there are some really crass stories that I'm not prepared to tell here, where the scent thing caused some serious problems.
You know what? I'm good on that.
Actual problems. Boy, you smell funny.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my God. So yeah, I wanted to hit on that. And then the Fisa Gaffi interview, that was super cool. Hey, she's awesome.
What did you think? Let me ask you this. So she says the thing about Emma Lawson, she's proud of her being brave. And then I say, well, what if I tell you I just think she's being a coward and she needs to suck it up, Buttercup? And then she responds with, hey, people shouldn't be doing things when they're feeling empty. And then I'm like, what do you mean feeling empty? And then basically you tell me she alludes to the fact that she was raped in college.
Yep.
And that left her empty.
Yep. I heard that. Y'all went.
That's the important of defining. And I wanted to ask her, but I knew it wasn't appropriate to ask her what the incident was. And I kind of hovered around it to see if she was going to tell us, which she didn't need to. I think we all jumped to, that was the safe assumption, right? Did you jump to that assumption too, Colleen, that she had been?
Oh,
I didn't see that part of it. I just saw the beginning part where you guys were talking about it might have been like the reel. I think she put up a reel about another podcast interview. I think that's kind of the last place I saw it. Or was it that part?
No, but did you think that, Garrett, when she
I did
said
immediately, yeah.
you were like, oh shit, she was
Yeah,
raped by someone.
and she even started to cry.
She said she gained weight, she locked
Yep.
herself in her room.
Those are all the symptoms.
Okay. And she didn't tell her dad.
Yeah, because you don't want your dad to go out there, beat the crap out of whoever it is, because you feel like they will, because you know they will. They're your dad. They love you,
Right.
and get your dad in trouble.
And so and then from there, that was I was crazy proud of myself that I kept my memory together and that I had my notes to be like, okay, I need to circle back and ask her to define what it means to feel empty. And then when she said that resonated with me because at my lowest point, then she sort of defined empty also as not having purpose. And for me, although it wasn't anything tragic, there was a point in my life where I felt like I didn't have purpose. I didn't even know that until she brought it up to me, actually. But I lost purpose, and so I was like, "Fuck it, I'm done with this life."
Yeah.
And then I found my purpose again, sort of. I mean, I'm still finding it, but at least I got a little something to hold on to.
Yeah. I mean, I'm only speculating, of course, but if you get violated like that, when something like that happens, it just kind of takes your soul away for a while.
Yeah.
And you don't have a purpose. So kind of the same thing that you're saying, just for a different reason.
Yeah.
But you kind of don't have a purpose anymore. So that's the whole lock yourself in your room. You don't want to do life anymore. You don't want to that's kind of, I think, where she was headed with that.
And my kids are superficially my purpose now. I don't mean that as derogatory towards them at all, but they're just
something happens when you have kids.
Yeah, they're just this is going to sound really vulgar, but or lack of respect, but my kids are just a Lamborghini, but better. Like I'm just trying to take care of them, but they're still just objects. Like when I talk about purpose, I mean like what you were saying, your soul. Like I saw something inside of myself that made it worth living again, and I have questions about that.
Yeah.
My purpose is to figure out. I guess now I'm comfortable with a life trying to. This is kind of esoteric, but I'm comfortable now with a life trying to figure out what my purpose is, and I kind of define it as where was I before I was born, and where am I going to go after I'm dead. And my kids have thankfully interfered with that process a little bit, or complemented it, or are now part of it. But even my kids, as much as they're part of my purpose, and of course I would abandon my deepest purpose to save my kids' lives. I would do anything for them. But what we're talking about, I guess, is more what you're saying. Like you completely lost yourself and your soul, or whatever.
Well, I would feel like my kid kind of gives me a reason to be super present, to not get lost in my own crap.
Right.
And I'm just super present and super, in the moment with him all the time. And because I don't have time. I don't have time to get lost in my own mental garbage stories, or feeling bad or feeling sad, or I can't go lock myself in my freaking room right now. There's just no way. And
no selfish endeavors, or if you are, they have to be like, okay, I'm going over here for 30 minutes to have a selfish endeavor.
Yeah.
But it's not fair to the kid.
Right.
It's not appropriate. It's just not appropriate to have selfish endeavors in front of your kid.
But see, well, now you got me to go. I want to circle back too, because the way that you handled Fee when she started talking about that, it was so cool to watch you do it. And I know so many people like to call you misogynistic, transphobic, homophobic, all the icks, whatever. But I've watched you do so many interviews with women who are talking about their most vulnerable times in their lives. Like Annie Thorisdottir, when she was talking about how difficult her pregnancy was. Or, or the fighter, Kayla Harrison, when she was talking about that. And you have so many more. They're not rattling off the top of my head, but I know you have more because I've watched them. And for you to be misogynistic, but be able to create a safe space for women to be able to talk about like very traumatic things in their lives, I don't know how it can be construed that way. Like, how did you?
They're just not using the word right.
Did you you have your mom, your sister, your wife, but to be able to build a connection with a woman in that amount of time and have that type of conversation, how did you get there? Because I don't know a lot of dudes that can do that.
I was raised by my mom and my sister, and I spent a lot of time with my sister at home alone, and so I have a ton of experience there. I was, and my mom was very. I'm very close to my mom, and my mom is very, very loving and supportive of me. So I trust women a lot.
Oh.
And maybe some women feel that, like, I really trust women. I feel, and my dad was in my life, but on the weekends, and my dad was a workaholic. I didn't learn really, like, I didn't have hands-on man shit that I learned from my dad.
Gotcha.
And so I could only imagine it's just the time I spent with my mom and my sister, and so part of that is I think part of I always saw women as very powerful. My mom is a very powerful woman. And I never thought of it like that. I don't think, oh, women are powerful, or my mom is powerful and she's a woman. I don't think I take all that for granted. I'm not, that's why I get a little triggered when, like, I was watching the Danielle Brandon preview for her new documentary coming out, and they're like, she says, fuck it if she's strong and muscular. And it's like, I feel like we're still there.
Yeah.
I'm so past that. My sister would beat up anyone in the neighborhood. She was the best soccer player. My mom's the smartest person I ever knew. Like, and I never thought of them as women. They're just fucking people. And so I get it that people are at different phases of their place, but but the part that is weird, though, and that I'm just finally at 52 coming into, I was always very awkward around women too, because I always wanted something from them. So
I was gonna
I always wanted like, I'm just like, I was just girl crazy. You know what I mean? Like, from kindergarten, I just remember I was just fucking girl crazy. I just wanted, like, my kindergarten teacher to come home and give me a bath. I didn't even know why. In the second grade, I just wanted to walk my girlfriend home from school. I wanted to walk her home from school every single fucking day. I would, like, in high school, I would just drive by girls' houses that I liked. I just wanted to see them. I was super uncomfortable around girls too.
So you had a healthy, like, respect for women, but it's not like, but like any dude, you're high school, your hormones are raging, you just wanna
I could not act cool. I
you
had no coolness in me. Yeah, I was just completely bonkers.
were you always in the friend zone?
Dude, I had this, like, I always had this until I was 18 when I lost my virginity. I had probably this constant rotation of 5 girls I was always on the phone with, talking to them about other guys they liked. Oh, I want to fucking kill
Oh, that's
myself.
painful.
Yeah,
That's
Jesus
so painful.
criminy.
How'd
Why'd you
get
have to go there, Garrett? Why'd you have to go there?
All right, well, because I wanted to go to how did you get out of the
Deep wound. I have no wounds either. So that's another crazy thing about me. I have no wounds. Nothing ever
Oh.
Nothing's ever happened to me.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I live a really normal fucking poltergeist neighborhood life, ET life. Like, I have no mom drove me to school, or I rode my bike to school. I came home.
All the
Maybe
girls you had friends with, or like, they never told you anything or confided in you about anything that happened to them or whatever?
No. Nope.
See, in school, I could throw a rock and hit 3 girls that something happened.
Right.
So that's why I was just curious, because you're so good at getting that trust and that respect in that relationship with women when you talk to them about stuff like that. I just assumed that there had to be somewhere in there something in that just made you that good at that.
I enjoy connecting with people. I mean, it's funny because I was talking to someone the other day, and they go, man, it's so weird that you're so involved with the games. I never thought you would be. And I go, dude, I was always super involved with the game since 2008. I did the behind the scenes until 2000. I was always obsessed with the athletes. And they're like, yeah, and that's the thing. I don't really care about the game stuff. I care about the people.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that one's better than the other, but that's and I love the people. That's why I like being surrounded by the people who are like, who do care about like how far they threw the softball or how many events they've won. That's all cool. None of that shit sticks with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like none of that. Like that's not the part of. I'm just interested in them as like super high performers and as people, and I just want to connect with them. Like I'm not like that's why when Tyson comes on the show, I don't care. Tyson Bagent, I don't care what he thinks about Justin Fields. Like, I mean, I would go to a bar and talk to him about that or a coffee shop, but I don't care. Like, I just want to connect with him. I want to know, like,
Yeah. No, I hear you.
I
Hey,
just want to connect with him.
and congratulations on Taylor versus the world, by the way. I was trying to say that in the beginning, but
Dude, thank you. I'm so proud.
It was
I'm so proud.
fire. I don't even know if I watched. I think once I realized what it was and like what the layout of the shows were, I don't even think I watched the games one because it was just way more entertaining to watch because you're invested in them, right? Like I'm invested in Colton now. I'm invested in Taylor and Dallin and Hopper. Now that Hopper's back, like
Now that Hopper's back, now that
I'm getting there, dude. I'm getting there.
How fucking good, dude.
Like I
believe in all those people. Tyler Watkins, Heat One app.
Yeah.
Will Brandstetter setting up the stuff. Colton. I'm just tripping the whole. I mean, really, all I want to talk to him about is his mom. I'm just pushing that down all 3 weeks. You know what I mean? And I still feel like I haven't talked to him good enough about it. But yeah, it's I'm just interested in the people. Like I'm just interested in what Will thinks about this, and Tyler thinks about this, and JR thinks about this, like as people. And I kind of just want to sit back and watch all these people perform at a super high level, whatever they're, and they're all characters. That's the thing. It's not just the athletes. Everyone is everyone who watches that show knows that Will set it up and that he was scrambling. And that when you see the tape on
when he runs past the screen and you're like, here's Will.
And when you see the tape on the ground, you know Will put that tape down.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I'm curious. Oh, look, there's Andy Hendel, the guy who owns the gym. It's fucking Sesame Street, dude. Everyone there's the Elmo and there's the fucking Cookie Monster and there's Big Bird, and it's like I love all that shit.
And you started to make it so that we kind of have the really high level athletes, like the ones that are going to win the games. Okay, fine. We know they're going to win the games, whatever. They're the top 5, blah, blah, blah. But I've kind of gotten to a place where I'm really not interested in watching them anymore. Like I'm interested in watching Fee Sagafi when you do the what is it? Not semifinal. What is coming up next? Quarterfinals.
Quarterfinals.
I couldn't get it out.
I always say semifinals.
Yeah. But
here's
like,
the thing.
I'm interested in that.
So here I would be interested. So when Fee came on, she right away like got into the Planet Fitness thing, right?
Yeah.
And so that's like my crazy attraction to Alex Gazan or Danielle Brandon. The fact that Danielle will come out of the mold. Like I'm not interested in the people who are trying to protect their brand. I'm interested in the people who are finding themselves and are willing to share that journey of finding themselves with us as we go along. So if the top, that's why I'm so fascinated by Rich Froning. I mean, it's awesome that he's the greatest. I love that, but also that he's navigating these values of this religion, right? And the fact that he's willing to share it. And yeah,
like you said with the religion thing with Rich and whatever, you said a couple weeks ago that navigating politics, right? You can navigate your own politics in your own life with the people that you interact with. And then of course there's worldview politics. And I think if you have religion the way that Rich has religion, just like you, there's no politics.
Right.
Those are his core beliefs. That's what he believes. He doesn't care whether you're on his side or not. Either you are or you aren't.
Right.
No biggie. But he's also free the same way that you're free. Like there's no politics for you. You don't have to worry about what you say or who you're talking to or anything like that. Whereas other people are trying to navigate these stupid politics. And I think that's where they get stuck. And I think that's where they don't have any fun either. Like Fee was having fun with you yesterday. Colton has fun with you. Hopper has fun with you. And
it's funny. So I'm just making this up, but I don't know this, but I think the reason why Danielle Brandon's frustrated with me right now is one of her close friends and loyal sponsors is Rad, and I've been fucking with them, right?
Yeah.
And I respect that. a shitload, and I think that's so fucking fun. And real. But I don't know it for sure because she hasn't said "fuck you, don't talk shit about my sponsors." She hasn't just flat out said that. But
she just said, "No, I'm not coming on your show."
Yeah. No, she hasn't even said that. She hasn't even said that. But just the way our communications have taken a turn since I fucked with Rad, since I called him out on playing the victim. Just our relationship, the dynamics has changed, but I still would throw that in the category of being real and sticking by her values, as opposed to someone who's frustrated with Andrew Hiller because he made a stuttering video about them.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like if Andrew made a stuttering video about me, it would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Hey. Well, we're gonna take a hard turn on this.
Go
one
ahead,
too.
all the turns you want. I'm here for it. I came prepared. I have with my queasiness, my stomach's queasy.
Do you? So I saw all of the Brian friend little comments that he's been making, and as I watch them, and I watch them back over and over, do you think that he's I feel like he went out and tried to bet on himself, like a football player or something. Like they're not going to sign in free agency. They're going to hold out. They're going to do all this, and he bet on himself, and it didn't work. Right. And right. Hard. Yeah.
Can I go back a second to what you just said about you seeing all the comments? I wrote to Andrew, and I'm so excited for him on how well his video is doing. I mean, the dude's a fucking savage. He's the hardest worker in the biz, dude. And he's a giver. He's so fucking generous. That was the first thing you said. You said, I met Andrew, and I said, what'd you think? She goes, he's so generous with his time. He even let me use his camera and film.
Dude, he was the nicest guy.
And
ever.
You know that camera probably cost him $5,000 or $6,000.
I told the baby there's a part in one of the videos where he lets little G hold the camera, and I'm like, dude, don't touch anything. And Andrew's like, nah, he's okay. And I'm having heart palpitations. Andrew's like, nah, it's good. I'm like, dude, that camera costs more than we paid to make you. So please don't take the camera.
Hey, the first time I met him in person, or maybe second time, he was at my house, and I was telling him about my bicep, and we sat out on my skateboard ramp in the sun, shirtless, and he rubbed oil on me and used a butter knife. Shut up, Colleen. And he used a butter knife to rub. He spent 15 minutes working on my arm and rubbing out my knot and made me feel better. I don't know if it was fucking placebo, but it was one of the that my wife doesn't rub on me like that. And but that being said, I want to go back to these comments things. Enough jerking Andrew off. And by the way, he's just been consistent like that with, and he's not one of those people. Sorry, one more jerk off for Andrew. He treats the person who works at Popeye's Chicken like that, and he treats me like that, and he treats everyone like that. And it's not one, those people who are like, hey, they're nice to me, but they're an asshole to the waiter. So you're like, okay, when's my turn going to come? But those people in the comments, I told Andrew, these people are fucking batshit crazy. I would never comment on that Brian Friend video in the comments. It's because there's a bit of a funeral quality to that video.
Yeah.
You're watching a funeral. And if you watch that video and you're just enjoying watching it and you're not feeling things and I think something might be wrong with you. It's like Andrew said at the end, I did not want to make this video.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be I don't think you should be in the comments being like, yes, fuck this dude. He's always been selfish, or I've always thought, or I think his voice is dry anyway. I don't like him. I'm like, who the fuck says that? You're watching the guy. We're at his funeral. Yeah.
You're missing the point.
What the fuck are you doing? Are you not a healthy human being?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on with the people in the fucking comments? There's 500 of them. And 450 of them, I'm like, for me, those people are showing their true colors. I would never jump in the comments there, and maybe it's because I have been so close to Brian, so maybe I have emotional ties to him. But
So you don't take comments like that like people coming on Hiller's video or your podcast or your post or anything like that, you don't take those type of comments as like, oh, they have my back. Oh, they're on my team. And so I think that maybe some of them is like, look at me. I have your back. I'm your number one support. You know, fuck him. Blah,
Yes,
blah,
I
blah.
do. I wish I could say I don't. That's a great question, Colleen. I'm torn because I do I do see the validation in it. I do see the validation in it. But he doesn't need more validation than probably the shitload of money he made off of that video and the views. And he does, I mean,
like you have
I would just be very careful in the comments there cheering on watching someone get curb stomped. I just couldn't, even if I wanted to, let's say I was like, yeah, get him, Hiller. Let's say I had that in me. I would hide that out of pride.
Yep.
I'm not yeah.
Two things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like I don't know. That was the most shocking part of that video to me. I'm like, wow, there's a gang fight in the middle of the street and you're watching from your window and you decided to go out there and get a close-up view. What, the view from the fucking window is not enough? You want to participate in this shit? People are getting their teeth knocked out down there. That's not me.
To go back, when I saw him do the Jason CrossFit Media podcast, it came across like some of those comments were like unprovoked, where he kind of went after Pedro.
Batshit crazy that Brian said any of that.
It was unprovoked, right? That was the feeling I got from it.
Batshit crazy. So when Hiller first came on the scene, Brian would be a dick to him.
Oh.
And I would say to Brian, like in threads, and I would say to him, and I was very close to Brian, I'd say, hey, dude, don't fuck with this dude. I'm sure I told him at least 3 times, hey, dude, don't be mean to this guy. Don't fuck with this guy. This is, it's like when you could have the best dog in the world, but when he's sleeping and you go over and pet him and he gives you that, and you see his lip do that thing.
Well, that's what I thought.
I'm not stupid. Andrew fucking don't fuck with him. And I saw him just keep fucking with them. And then finally there actually reached a point. I remember like a year ago, I'm like, oh fuck, at some point, like Andrew's reached I could tell by the way he was interacting with Brian, he'd reached his fill. And Andrew's not mean. Andrew was not being mean to him. He was behaving in a way that Brian didn't like, so Brian would be mean to him. It wasn't like Hiller wasn't being mean to Brian. Hiller was like, let's say Hiller was going 85 miles an hour and Brian would yell at him, slow down, you fucking moron. I'm like, hey, dude, you're not going to get too many of those. You better find a different way to approach them. What?
Hiller's video was fair. It was literally only about what he had experienced with Brian. It wasn't, you know what I mean? He didn't attack him in any other way. He was just like, hey, this was what my experience was with you, and I don't like it.
He went light too, by the way. For anyone who thinks he went hard, he went light.
Oh, Lord.
There could be a fucking part 2. That's what I don't know what Brian was thinking going on that.
In my mind, I thought that he was doing that so that he could get the press from Hiller, so that he could get his name back out there, because there's no other way. Like I said, I think he bet on himself and was hoping for that big ass contract. By the time the season started, that big ass contract didn't come around. Now you guys just had Taylor versus the world. He was not in it. It was humongous, and we all partied around it, right? We were all having a great time with you, sitting back watching it. You guys were having a great time. He wasn't in it. And so now how do I come back full circle and get to be part of the fun again? I need them to talk about me.
Boy, you know the term briced?
Yes. Yeah.
So Bryce came on my podcast and he brought up Andrew, and Andrew just went off on him.
Video. And
so you just see that pattern, and you know that if you're going to talk, Andrew makes videos, and you know, like, do you want to be an inspiration for one of those videos?
No.
Yeah, and I don't want to be an inspiration for one of those videos. And so I don't know.
We do kind of talk about it though, lean in, like when he makes some of those, like the mush video that he just made.
Yeah.
And
that was
like, hey,
that was funny.
But it was funny. It was hilarious.
It's really good. And hey, and that one actually is good for Brian if it was separate from the video, because it makes Brian's voice so much more recognizable. Like
Yeah.
in the end, I know probably it's hard probably for DeCoons to see this, but in the end, because DeCoons survived Andrew's onslaught, now we all know who he is. And
Yeah.
like I've even forgotten what the fucking video was about, and I'm just like, yeah, there's DeCoon. He's just a dude in the space.
Yeah.
But Brian, if Brian's gonna bring up Hiller, he should have just left it. He should have only said positive things or nothing at all.
I know he's done it like 3 times now, 3 separate occasions. And the one that made me think about it was the attack on Pedro show. Like, those questions were stupid. Why am I even answering this? He's only gonna give me so thing is, I could make one on anyone who doesn't deserve it. I could make one on Sevan. Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could.
He's saying I couldn't
Okay,
make one on anyone who doesn't deserve
Oh,
it.
okay.
I don't
see
even
it.
understand that sentence.
So he couldn't make one on you because you would not deserve a video like that. He couldn't. He could
Right.
only make it on someone who actually deserved it.
Right. I mean, I don't talk to people the way Brian does. Brian's, I would say, it comes across. He comes across like a know-it-all. Like when he talks to Andrew, I have a pretty high tolerance for that, and I think Andrew had a pretty high tolerance for it. But also, like, he should have heeded the warnings. They were everywhere. He got them from me. He got them from watching how Andrew reacts to things. Like, you pat that dog on the head when he's sleeping, he bites. And he patted Andrew on the head like 20 times. And was patting people in our group.
Yeah.
And I think when we parted ways, we were in this group of people and we parted ways with Brian. That should have been enough for him to be like, okay, I need to give those boys space.
Yeah. But no, he just went right back at
No, dude.
Right back at it.
He just did not, he did not, I don't think he's reading the signals right.
Or taking accountability.
There was this chick on the show. This is some heavy shit. Lindsay from BirthFit.
Yeah.
And she said she was sexually assaulted. And although she said it's not her fault, she also, in order to heal, has to take inventory of her behaviors and values that put her in that situation, right?
Yeah.
So there's a difference between a 6-year-old kid getting molested, right?
Mhm.
Versus you're drunk every night at a party at 20 years old and walking home.
At 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no one deserves to be raped. It's never the girl's fault. 5 guys attack a girl in the park. It's like never her fault, no matter what, even if she's fucking laying there naked. I'm not insinuating that at all.
Yeah.
But there is from the Jason CF media piece, it seems like, okay, Brian, let's say everything is everyone's fault around you. I'm willing to go there. Let's say Derek Chauvin really did kill George Floyd. But what was the repeating pattern in George Floyd's life with his behaviors and his values that made it so he had 3 times the lethal dose of fentanyl in his system? And that was the 3rd time he had been screaming, "I can't breathe," at his 3rd arrest, and the 3rd time he had swallowed the drugs when they caught him. There has to be something weird's going on. At some point, you have to be like, I mean, even if I know I'm right, if I fought with my wife about the same thing for 3 years, at some point I'm like, okay, dude, do something different.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same thing my grandmother always told me, nothing good ever happens after midnight. So if you're gonna stay out after midnight,
Yeah.
something's gonna pop off. It might not be you, it might not be whatever, but it's gonna pop off somewhere.
Someone's driving home drunk.
Yep.
Always after midnight.
You are risking the biscuit
100%. Yeah.
after midnight. You just are. And same thing with drugs. If you're gonna take drugs and be on drugs, and listen, you're risking it.
The chances of getting hit in the parking lot at a bar are significantly higher than getting hit in the parking lot at your house.
Yep.
And why? Because there's a place right there that sells a bunch of shit that impairs people's ability to drive.
There's a reason why when you get older, like you're not leaving your house to go out anymore at 10 o'clock at night. Like,
right.
No, I'm sorry. What time did you want to go to dinner? 6 o'clock? Sure, fine.
Yeah.
Like
8 o'clock.
You're not doing it.
8 o'clock too late. Oh,
Yeah.
here,
What did you guys think? It was Jedediah Snell. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's your show, man. It's your show. No. Go ahead.
Jedediah Snelson. What's up, dude? Do you think he might have thought Brian alienated himself from the guys would make him more appealing to work with guys? Do you think Brian thought alienated himself from the guys?
Yes, I do.
you guys, yeah.
But he didn't. I don't know what you mean exactly by alienating. He wasn't. his thing was he was trying to be in both worlds, I think. He would say to me, I don't know, let's say I worked with him for 2 years. Every other month I would get this like, "Hey, I don't know if I can work with you anymore" lecture. "Hey, I'm not sure so and so doesn't like you, or I had to defend you, or these people think that you shouldn't say this," or even told I said this before in another show. He said one time, he said, "Hey, when I come on the show, can you not call Sean Woodland Shawnee?" And I said, "Sure, no problem."
How exhausting is that for you, though? How exhausting, because now he's making you navigate his politics. That's gotta be freaking exhausting. It's your show.
I was so cool with it, I think. I mean, you guys could tell by the show or not until I wasn't.
Yep.
And the part where I was so cool with it until I wasn't. I mean, he would tell me stuff like, "Hey," he's told me a half dozen times, "Hey, I never watch any of your shows." Just out of the blue. Just like, "Hey, Brian, what's up? How you doing? What are you doing? We want to, what, we're talking about Frisbee or something." He's like, "Hey, just so you know, I never watch any of your shows." Like, just out of, like, there wouldn't be any context. It would be some weird shit, but I never read into it. I'm just like, oh, fine. Okay, cool. Or he would tell me stuff like, yeah,
You're so cool like that.
or
Like,
just blind. I'm oblivious to it. I just don't care. It's not, I don't care. But then, and he would tell me, he's like, "I don't watch anything unless it's recommended to me by three times. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, but what was weird is he would always ask me, he would say, "Why aren't you watching my content?" And I would think, and so when those pieces started connecting after the sixth time he said, "Hey, why aren't you watching my shows?" I'd be like, oh, this guy doesn't even, I wasn't not watching his shows for any reason except I just wasn't interested. I'm not watching game stats or like,
yeah,
if you tell me, "Hey, dude, there's a crazy show where Fisa Goffey tells me how she overcame getting raped," I'd be like, "Oh, I'll go check that out."
yeah,
But
yeah,
like, I have zero interest in who's most likely to win 24.3 unless it's on my show.
yeah,
Sorry, because I got some other questions. So, but he would legitimately express feelings of hurt or disappointment if I didn't watch his show, when he had no issue out of the blue telling me he didn't watch my show. But I wasn't doing it for a tit for tat. But I did make note, wow, there's a weird disconnect here.
yeah.
I started noticing these weird disconnects, or, I mean, I appreciated his honesty. I didn't, and then of course the final straw with me and him was, he said, "Hey, I'm going over to the Lone Ranger podcast and they don't want, I can't be on your podcast. I can't do CrossFit stuff with you anymore. They're paying me money so that I can't be on your show." And I said, "Okay, totally. That's totally fine." And then a month later he came back and said, "Hey, I got fired from there." And what I had heard happened, and I don't know if this is true, but what I had heard happened is that that basically he was trying to poach their sponsors, and so they got pissed at him and told him to pound dirt. I do not know if that's true, but that's the rumor I heard. And so
Well, that would be consistent.
when that happened, he came back and he said, "Hey, I'd like to come on your show." I go, "Anytime you want, dude. Propose any show to me and I'll fucking do it to you. I don't give a fuck what it is." And he said, "Okay." And then he said, he started like bringing up the fact that he's going to get paid again,
And you're like, nah.
and that he let me know he had talked to one of my sponsors. And then when I dug deeper, it sounds like one of my sponsors called him just to connect with him. But then he basically said, "Hey, what about paying me again to be on Sevan show?" And then I called my sponsor. I'm like, "Hey, dude, I'm not doing business with the guy anymore. Like, he can come on whenever he wants, just like Tyler Watkins. Like, if Tyler says, 'Hey, I want to do a show promoting my Heat One app and talk about my new blah, blah, blah,' I'm like, bring it. Let's do it. But I'm not doing business with Brian anymore."
Yeah, like you
And
gave him the keys to the kingdom.
yep.
And
And so he said, understandably so, "Hey, I'm not going to do your." He saw his values. "Hey, I'm not going to do your show unless you pay me." And I said, "Okay." And then probably like 3 months into that, I saw I saw he was struggling, and I said to him, "Hey, dude, every time you come on my show, your value will go up 0.1%. Every time, 10 times you come on my show, your value will go up 1%. So for every 10 shows you don't do with me, that you want to do with me, that you don't do, you don't get a 1% bump. You could have," and I told him, I said, "You could have already have done 100 shows with me and your value would have gone up 10%. And you could parlay that." And he said, "Well, thank you. I appreciate you telling me that." And it's hard for me to tell him that because I'm not trying to come across arrogant. I'm just telling him the fucking truth.
Yeah.
And now the truth is, I would not let him on my show unless he paid me.
And that's so freaking sad too, because just with everybody that
I'm not trying to be a dick though, Garrett.
yeah, no, I
That's
know
just the value of where I'm at.
that's what happens though.
That's
Yeah.
your value.
Yeah. He wants to. He can pay me $5,000 a month, and he can, and I'll let him run his own show on my platform. He can do one show a week, like around the whiteboard does.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying is the sad thing is that everybody that you have, all of the like the Shut Up and Scribble, the all the game shows, all your political shows. Sousa has a show now. All you had to do was kind of just put your head down, go to work, stay
Leverage
focused.
the shit out of my show, man.
And you say it
Leverage
all
the
time.
shit out of it. Leverage it.
It's genuine when you say it. It really
I
is.
do it. I do it with all the guys. I leverage the shit out of it.
Yep.
Those Sousa got those, or someone got those boys a sponsor. JR and Taylor. The reason why I wanted to do Taylor Self versus the World, people were like, "Hey, you should ask Khalifa or Josh Bridges to commentate on it. You'll get big numbers." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great idea." And then I was thinking, "Oh, I'm not gonna I'm only putting energy into people in my circle now." And I knew that if we did this Taylor Self versus the World, I had no idea Taylor was gonna. It's not how well he performed; it's how much he brought.
Oh yeah,
he brought it all.
It was
even if he would have shit the bed, it would have been great. Yeah,
didn't matter.
Fucking
he was awesome.
that fucking fiery redhead brought the whole kit and caboodle, and then at the end, opened up the fucking cake, and we saw the soft thing inside.
Yeah,
it was nuts, dude.
Especially after that one where he threw up and then started talking about being scared of his knee, like he was afraid of the thrust.
Fuck you guys, I'm the baddest too. I'm so scared of my knee, and you're seeing this multifaceted.
It was amazing
of sincerity unfold before your eyes, and that's all. And guess who benefited from that?
Everybody did.
Yeah. The Sevan podcast,
everybody,
Sentinel training, the whole CrossFit community, like everyone benefited. And so then also Brian said that when this is gonna blow you away. Brian said, "Hey, he wanted to come on the show for that. Like, hey, I'm in town. I'll help with the show."
Yeah, I saw that.
That wasn't cool to say publicly. That's not understanding a social nuance. And there was no fucking way that I was going. He's been gone for fucking 6 months. And John Young has been there for every fucking show. Like I could call John right now and be like, "Hey, will you come on with Garrett?" And I'll be like, "Okay, hold on. I'm eating a sandwich." I'm like, "No, eat your sandwich on the show." He will come. Unless it's fucking church, he's going to fucking be there. And I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm doing that. Like, does he not understand the fucking nuances here? At that point, there aren't even nuances. So then I text Matt Sousa, the executive producer of the podcast, and I say, "Hey, dude, I'm just gonna have Brian on next week, and just gonna have Brian on. This is." And then he goes on the Jason CF Media show. And it's like, holy fuck.
Oh, you actually we're gonna give him another shot?
Dude, I told Brian, "Hey, I'll have you on the show after." I even told Brian, "I'll have you on the show after." I told Brian, "I'll have you on the show after." And then he does the CF Media thing, and at one point he said in there that I made things harder on him, and I'm just like,
"Oh, bro, you made it harder on yourself, man."
I'm like, "What the fuck is?" And so then it just basically, I have a really short memory. But every time I start to remember, he just peels the scab off. And hey, here's the thing. I'm totally open to being totally wrong and him being right. But also the truth is it's like I have all the toys in my sandbox now.
Yeah.
And
biggest CrossFit media ecosystem built
out
there right now.
Yeah. So like I don't know, maybe I'm a fucking egomaniac fucking tyrant. But then if I am and you want in, then that's not the way to do it.
And my favorite one, the journey is the John Young journey. Like that is my favorite journey to watch coming out of your ecosystem, because I remember when he first came on and he was coming on with Brian. It was like they would, battle each other out for the rankings and stuff. And that was fun too.
Awesome.
And man, John Young is a trooper because he would get destroyed in the comments.
He got hazed like a motherfucker.
Dude, he earned his right to that seat to no end. He took it like a champ with a smile and a laugh, and it just his journey on your show is my favorite probably by far.
And everyone has taken a journey, right? Look at JR.
Yeah.
Even
Yep.
Because he's so stoic, even the littlest clicks, seismic changes,
Like a
we see.
smile.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
see. Hey dude, the first time I had Tyler Watkins on was before we went live.
Mhm.
Show was so bad it's the only share we've never aired. And now he's like if you have him on, he's so easy.
He's the one on he's
on Spin Show.
Yeah, but I started noticing him and watching him a lot more when they had that show at Wadapalooza. Was it Wadapalooza?
Yeah.
Dude, they were hysterical.
Yeah, he's hysterical. He's
like
so
him,
funny.
JR and Taylor. That was awesome.
A very sweet man too. Tyler's a very sweet man. Huge heart.
It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I don't know.
Just like people say to me too. They're like, "Hey, why don't you have any women on?" I'm like, I didn't choose these dudes for their. I didn't choose these guys for their penises. I wasn't like, all right.
Sevan.
I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why.
You always say it just happened organically. You saw the people that wanted to put their head down and work, and wanted to like learn how to do things and take things into their own hands and move and groove, and they did, and that's why they're all on your show.
My neighbor has 3 sons and 2 daughters. I called him the other day and I said, and he's a contractor, and I said, "Hey, dude, my skateboard ramp's all fucked up and waterlogged. Do you know a carpenter who can fix it?" He said, "Sure." Next morning, he's over there with his 2 boys fixing my skateboard ramp. And you know what I did? Cool. I walked out there and I said, No. I need your daughters out here. No, I did not do that.
I know you
didn't.
What
fuck kind of shit is that?
Why? Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck, you asshole? Why didn't you bring your daughters? I don't give 2 fucks, dude.
That's like that airplane Boeing thing. Did you see that? Because all the DEI hires were all these middle-aged women who knew nothing about airplanes, and then put all the airplanes together, and then freaking doors start flying off airplanes. And
that was related to DEI, the door flying off? Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Hey, I bet you the release of the workout was DEI related.
Probably.
Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah. It's fucking, it's like.
It's so aggravating.
Yeah.
But no, I see that. But
I want to put energy into places where people will run with it. That really stimulates me. I don't.
You like to watch people grow.
I told Andrew I don't remember what video. Andrew made that Brian video. And I saw the numbers taking off on it. And I wrote him a text. I said, "Fuck you. I'm not letting you beat me. Watch what I'm doing with Planet Fitness tomorrow." And like in real time, I heard that I didn't even know what I just like, I had, as I was going to congratulate him. And then it switched to, while I'm typing it, dude, I should call Planet Fitness on the show tomorrow. It wasn't like I planned saying that out 15 minutes before and came over. I'm typing it out and saying it. I planned to be like, dude, this video is killing. And instead I switched like, fuck you. I ain't losing to you.
Are you
you know what I mean?
You guys are probably all like that too, right? Like
I was fully inspired by him. I'm like, wow, I got to go out on a limb. This motherfucker's like, I got Russell Berger on. I better milk this.
Yeah. If you really do start that show,
Russell will become a superstar on Rumble, dude. He's a genius. He's a fucking genius.
We just figured out how to start streaming to other people's platforms from our own platform. So like, you know, those 2 girls that come on with me, Jana and the super awesome free thinking lesbian, and then the other girls.
Yeah. I've watched a couple of those shows. Yep. Or at least one of those shows. Yeah.
So
on the assault bike.
They were so nice, and just like in the spirit of how you are, like they were so nice. We kind of started our own little like bi-weekly show together, and they allowed me to go onto their Rumble, their YouTube channel, and see if I could stream from my own. So like we'd be live all at the same time. Like shit like that's fun. That's cool. You get with a group of people that want to do stuff, and it just, the environment's better. You can't.
Taylor called me and goes, "Hey, I want to film something with Bryson Del Monte tomorrow, and we set up these 2 cameras and we're going to do this thing. How should we edit it so that we can watch video and film ourselves at the same time?" I'm like, dude, just go onto my StreamYard, make the video, upload it into my StreamYard account, and then just record it there.
Yeah.
And I go, and if you want, I don't even care if you use my StreamYard account to go live to your account. I've already made you an admin.
Right.
And he's like, no shit. And it's like, yeah, dude, go.
does the same thing. She's like, here's all my passwords, here's all my whatever, just go in there, and if you can figure it out, great. And I was like, thanks, appreciate you.
My channel only grows because of me or what other people around me are doing. So if Hiller can make it to 100,000, that means I'm going to make it to 50,000. If Hiller makes it to 1 million, I'm going to make it to 500,000.
And that's the work.
If I make it to a million, I hope he's at 5 million.
Yeah.
Because it does nothing to me. There's nothing negative about his account growing. For me, it's all positive.
But that's that, like, sharing space in a room, right? There are just some people that think that if he gets better, I can't get better anymore because he got better.
Insane.
And to me, it's like there could be 50 million CrossFit podcasts out there. If people started jumping and working together and moving and grooving, everybody's stock would still rise. One doesn't have to sink for the other one to rise.
I'll tell you this, coming first full circle to penises and vaginas. The reason why this group that I'm in is growing the way it is because we do have a very, very tight circle of trust.
Yeah. And
I heard Ben Bergeron say people grow at the speed of trust. And you'll see that if you get two people on MDMA in a room together, their relation, you could do 10 years of relationship in one sitting. Now it might fall apart when you come off the drugs, but this relationship I have with these 12 other creators, it's fucking nuts because we have this really, there's so many things in there that we don't agree with, but it doesn't matter. We just trust each other.
So when Brian did share that, was that like a gut punch when he shared your private?
You want to know really what it was? Oh, what do you mean when he did one on Jason CF Media?
No. Hiller put, Sima Beaver. I do love you, girl. You're awesome. Why is it okay for Hiller to air dirty laundry, but not Brian? Didn't Brian already air it?
It's not that it's not okay. It's not that it's not okay for him to do it. It's perfectly okay. He can do whatever he wants. It's just that now he's telling a story, and the story has Hiller in it, and now Hiller's going to tell his side. So it's not that it's okay or not okay. It's let's say Hiller was at my house and I saw that when he pees, he pulls his pants down to his ankles instead of just lifting his cock and balls up over his underwear. And I were to tell you guys that. Then Hiller comes back with, yeah, that was your wife who pulled my pants down like that. Like, I gotta be ready for that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like you just have to be, ready. I just wouldn't have, I'm making the presupposition at the end of the day. I think I know what Brian wants. He wants to be super successful in the space. He wants to be respected. He wants to be utilized for what he's great at. Talking about Hiller on some European dude's podcast, the Jason dude's podcast, is
and that poor kid looked uncomfortable as hell. He really did.
Because all of a sudden he's like, I got the impression that Jason was like, oh, you just have a problem with the group that you came from. He didn't know he also had a problem with barbell spin, his gym, morning chalk up, talking elite fitness, or not barbell spin, barbell bend. I mean, and then all of a sudden he was having trouble because the fun narrative would be like, okay, these guys over here that he used to be involved with and him are fighting, and they're bullies and they kicked him out. But he went on that podcast and was like, no, everyone hates me. And it's like, wait a second. I thought the Lone Ranger people and Sevan hated each other. Wait, now you're a separate. I mean, it just got he fucked himself with even the narrative. The shit got weird.
So was that the thing? Was it that Brian shared, like, because you talked about the trust that you have with the people that are in your group thread that are in your group. So was that it? Was that when Brian shared part of your group text that?
I don't know if he shared. I don't know if Brian, there were other people who had been in it where they had shared stuff and they had to be taken out because they shared stuff. I don't know. The Brian thing was just this. there's stuff that even Hiller didn't say in the video, but it was a constant it was constant missteps.
Yeah.
That many of them Hiller talked about in the video, but it was constant missteps, and maybe he shared stuff. I don't know for sure.
I thought I saw it in his video where he said it because he started scrolling on his phone. So maybe I didn't hear it right, but
there was some talk in Andrew's video about him sharing stuff, but the tolerance for the things that Brian did one right after another, there were people in the space who would.
It's okay. We can switch topics.
It's okay. I just don't want to. I think Brian has enough to deal with. I suspect he's caught up in the nuances. He's like, I didn't get fired from Talking Elite Fitness. It was we just went our separate ways. But like, he's getting caught up in those nuances, and those don't matter when it's everyone.
Yeah.
My girlfriend never broke up with me, but I can't hold a relationship for more than 2 months. It's like, and I've had 13 of them in the last year. It's like, hey, dude, like,
we can all start to see it.
Yeah, it's like, dude. So I don't want to pile on there.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
But he wasn't a good fit for the group. You know, when stand up, there's this European show where there's these people ad lib, and there's 4 of them on stage.
Yeah.
And so I'll be like, oh my God, Garrett, I didn't tell you could bring your purple dinosaur to my house. And like, there's no purple dinosaur. Right. And the rule is when they're ad libbing is you're not allowed to say, that's not a purple dinosaur. You can only build forward in the story. And that's how it works. And so you say, oh, what are you talking about? You have a pink dinosaur. What's wrong with my purple dinosaur? Are you racist? And then the story would move forward, right?
Yeah.
There's a cohesion in the group. I wish I could give you exactly what it is, and Brian wasn't fitting with it. And Hiller explained a ton of those stories. One of them was the fact that, yeah,
you gotta have a vibe.
Yeah, and it wasn't. Yeah, the Godfather thing really is appropriate. What he said, he was trying to always control us instead of like flow with us.
You guys are not the group to control. You can
yeah. No one should know that it is not. No, it's not controllable. And it doesn't mean you can't say. It doesn't mean you can't say things. It doesn't mean you can't be like you can't be like, hey, Hiller, that wasn't cool what you did to Tia. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say those things.
Again, he's a grown.
But it's him. Yeah, it's him. Like, yeah,
he's a grown ass man. He's gonna do.
It wasn't fair. Not that he did it to you. It wasn't cool that you made a video speculating about her steroid use.
Yeah.
But there's no reason to be mad at him for it, or like that's not what the group is there for.
Yeah, I never.
It's not to be controlled.
No. And everybody has their own thing too. It's not like you. Like, what are you gonna do? Go yell? Like, Andrew has his own platform. It's his platform. It's humongous. You can do whatever he wants to do. You have your own platform. You can do whatever.
More than humongous. It's potent as fuck. It's tip of the spear shit.
Yeah, your fans are like just diehard. They will defend you to no end all the time. Doesn't matter. They're ride or die. You want them to go buy something, they're gonna go buy something. You need help with whatever, they're gonna. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable what your fans, like this group's fans, are capable of.
Danny Spiegel may be able to beat you with a giant pillow, but what Andrew Hiller has is the world's sharpest pencil.
Yeah, for sure.
And man, if you don't want to get poked by that fucking thing, that thing's going. Or if you do get poked by it, you better hope it's like a good thing. You better hope he's like removing a wart on you or something. Yeah, it's potent. It's a potent. He's so good at his craft.
Yeah,
he's getting better and better. It's
oh my God, it's incredible.
Yeah.
All right, my guy. I appreciate you. I know Kenneth wanted to learn more about you. So real quick, something personal to learn about you. How old were you when you knew you were straight?
I don't even know if I'm straight.
I've been questioning you lately too, to be honest.
What would be when I in my mind, you're straight if you masturbate to the opposite sex. I don't know if there's any
Are we gonna
truth
try
to
to
that.
define this? Okay. All right.
So I've never masturbated to men. So I guess I don't know. I don't even know how I know. I had to make that up. I had to make up that definition. I don't even know how I know.
Some people say if you have ever slept like for men specifically, if you're a dude and you've ever fooled around with another man, like you're gay.
I've never fooled around with another man, but how about this? I'm not interested in I would never watch gay porn for fear that I would be aroused.
Oh. Okay.
Like I don't do any of the ones where it's like it's a super hot chick and then she pulls down her pants and she has a penis. I stay away from anything fucking crazy.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Because I'm not interested in opening up any I'm not interested in my shit's complicated enough. I gotta it's like I already got it. Like you got to get a vagina wet and you got to be hard and then you got to get at it. I like the simplicity of it. Suck on some boobs. It's cool.
The simplicity of it.
Yeah.
There's so much going around now. If you're a trans woman dating a trans man, you're just straight. Like,
yeah, trans woman.
Yes, trans woman dating a trans man.
Yeah.
You're just straight.
Yeah.
And then a woman gets pregnant and has a baby. A girl had a baby. Like, we're doing too much.
I've never been aroused by a man or wanted any intimacy with a man. I guess maybe I knew I knew. I've never been distracted by a man on the podcast, and I'm distracted by women all the time. Recalibrate.
I could say that too, I guess. Sure.
Yeah. It's just. I mean, I don't wander off. Like I'm not like, oh my God, I'm naked with her in the shower. It's not like that. But but I also, you know what's crazy? I'll tell you this crazy thing about me that I don't know what other men. I never I realize that my friends will be at a coffee shop somewhere and a woman will walk by and they'll see themselves like having sex with the girl, or they put those girls in positions in their mind doing things. I've never done that. I don't do any of that stuff. I see, I don't look at a flower and be like, fuck, I want to clip that and bring it home. I just see stuff and I'm like, yeah, that's hot. That's not hot. I don't even do that's not hot. I just do that's hot or move on. And yeah, I don't even know. I don't know how I know, but I do remember Mrs. Allen. I do remember.
I was a teacher.
Yeah, in kindergarten. I just remember I just needed her.
You have this bathing thing happening. What is going on with that? Is that where it stemmed from? Your kindergarten?
I don't know, but before I had kids, I always if I walked by the shower, my wife was in the shower, I'd get undressed and get in the shower with her. Like no matter what, even if I had just taken a shower, I just was always like, hey, I'm like.
Hey, you are a religious dude. That's religion used to teach you way in the water, and if you're
and it wouldn't even be sexual. I would just go in there to hang out with her, to bathe her, to soap her, to whatever. But now I have kids and I can't. I think I showered with her once in the last 5 years.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, showering time's way down.
Is thinking about another woman while you're sleeping with your wife, is that cheating? Hey, listen, blame Ken DeLapp.
I will tell you this. That's one of the ways, as superficial as this sounds, that's one of the ways I knew my wife was the right girl for me, because I was courting her for 5 years, but anytime I was with another girl or I was masturbating or anything, I was always thinking about my wife.
There you go.
Yeah. So even to this day, if I were to masturbate, which I never would, I think about my wife.
Whatever. You never masturbate?
No, don't ruin my story. Don't ruin my story.
Okay. You were making it very virginal? Okay. All right. That's
don't
ruin
my story.
I was like, wait a minute. What are you talking about? I listen to your shows.
So I wasn't like, it wasn't consciously like, well, shit, that's a litmus test. That's the right girl. But in hindsight, I'm like, shit, yeah, I'm crazy.
Yeah, when the right girl comes around, it's just it.
Yeah, I'm crazy content with her. I'm like, I mean, I'm kind of bonkers around her already. So, and it's getting worse as I get older. My dad told me it would get worse. I didn't believe him. It's kind of getting like.
Well, what was she hit her peak? Like what, in their 30s? They go nuts in their 30s. That's when they go
nuts, fucking nuts.
Like you can't even move. If you move too much,
insatiable.
Yeah,
that's another place women. I think a lot of women are different. Men, they orgasm, they're ready for bed. Girls are like, okay, when the next 20 coming?
Oh, we can keep going.
Yeah,
sure. We don't.
Yeah.
There's.
I mean, we just started. You just started. What are you doing?
For sure. And they'll let you know too. They're like, no, I got like 2-3 more in me. What's happening?
Yeah,
Let's go. Wakey.
Hang tight.
Dude, thank you so much. I appreciate this. To know
anytime. I'm glad I came on. I'm glad we got to make it happen. I'm stoked. And my stomach feels better. You are the cure.
Oh, good. Yay. Uh-oh. Well, at least I got my voice back, or kind of back. Ugh. Somebody told me I was a band member for somewhere. I forgot what it was, but
with your raspy voice.
Yeah, it's fine. But thank you so much, dude.
All right, dear.
Guys.
All right. Colleen, nice to hang out with you.
Appreciate
nice to meet you officially.
All right. Talk to you guys soon.
Cool.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Woo.
Okay. I'm good. I think I orgasmed 4 times and I'm done for the day. So maybe I'm straight. I don't know. But all right. Thanks guys for hanging out with me. Appreciate you all as always. Love you guys.
It was good.
It was fun.
Till next time.
Deuces.
Bye guys.